Well, Goldberg and everything else, everybody had their own ways of their ideas of what they wanted to do, and me being the newcomer and everything else, you have to know when to take a back seat and just go along for the ride. And that's kind of what I was doing, just kicking back and taking it all in. And me and Goldberg never really got off on a good angle. We had one, but was short lived, and they could have drawn it out more. But in that business, everybody has an idea, and who's to say their idea wasn't better than mine? So what I had thought of would go over better, but that's the only reason why. Just the timing and everything else didn't match up.
Are you surprised Goldberg's still one of the main wrestling stars in today's wrestling world all these years later?
No, you know what? Bill's a phenomenal athlete, and it does. Once you get over and to hold on to it, all those guys out there that have big names and they know what they're doing, and they're all talented people. And those guys, they work hard and they do their stuff, and they have their whole persona down and everything else. So nothing surprises me with Bill or any other big name guys. They know what they're doing and they know how to hold on to it.
I know Goldberg speaks very highly of you, and you're friends with Goldberg. Any stories about him, and what do you think about him still wrestling in WWE, making $3 million a year reportedly?
God, that's fantastic. That's congratulations, Bill. That's great. If anybody deserves it, he does. Bill's one of the nicest guys in the world you'll ever meet. He will go out of his way for fans. And he really goes hard for the disabled fan. Disabled children. Knock on wood. He's really a great guy in that aspect and helping people out in that area.
I know he trained in Muay Thai for decades, and he has a gym, I think. How do you think he would have done had he crossed over into MMA? I know he was always offered more money in wrestling, so it never happened, but there was always some talk of it.
That's a question that is silly because there are so many variables in the fight world.
Goldberg, he's still with WWE in the main angles. You wrestled him in WCW. What are your thoughts on him and all the success he's had over the years?
Bill's a stud, man. Bill had a different look. He was his persona was phenomenal. He was a lot of guys. How do I put this without trying to really? They're very. They didn't think he worked hard enough for what he got, and to me, okay, maybe he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? I remember in Chicago, he hit me with a jackhammer, and he's holding me up there, and the flash was, and I'm talking to Bill. Bill, because it was. I mean, it's sort of like, Muhammad Ali coming out of a hotel or something after a world championship fight. All the cameras are plastic. He's got all this. But he was just different, man. I mean, when you got Goldberg going on Goldberg, and these people just go nuts for him, maybe it took him less to get the people to respond to him, but he got them. And, they're kind of jealous of that. I always put Bill in a favorable light to where, can't take nothing away from the dude, man. I mean, is he the best wrestler in the business? Not even close. Does he get the responses you need? Yeah. And a lot of guys got to work their ass off to get that kind of pop. It just comes natural, Bill. And, that's more power to him, and, I don't know what position to use. I've kind of got away from
He's
watching.
getting a title match coming up at the Royal Rumble, apparently.
Wow. Well, that's great. I mean, you can't, look how long, okay, I was just saying, look how long Flair lasted. Two totally different people. Flair's the greatest entertainer, Rick entertained the hell out of me once I even know what the hell was going on. You know what I mean? He was so freaking fun and I mean, I watch even, my beloved New Japan. Me and Eric did a interview one time together, which is really kind of awkward for me at the time. But, it just didn't happen. And they asked us about what I thought about pro wrestling now compared to what I was doing. And I just stated that, what we did was, more power and big men. And today kind of reminds me of Circus of Life. I mean, some of the things they're doing in the ring is, it shows that they're great athletes, but, it just doesn't work for me. I see some great matches, but I just see a lot of it's just kind of nuts. And, Rick is just an amazing entertainer. And that's just like getting back to about Bill. People, Bill didn't have to work that hard to get that kind of response because his persona, what he brought to the ring, his entrance, it was just, he was a damn phenom, brother. And look at how long it's lasting. I had no idea Bill was getting ready for a title match. And that's probably my fault. But, I got other things going on in my life right now. I just got done with some surgeries and stuff and getting healthy. Nothing serious, a couple knee replacements, gonna get the shoulders done. Hell, you might see me back in the ring one day.
Being in the WWF, I can't use some of the language that Jim says here right now, but he was so frustrated. He came. I happened to be sitting in the cafeteria because the typical rule of conduct there was they wanted the talent to show up some more between noon and 1 o'clock. They would feed you, catered meals, stuff like this. Jim was there. He came by me, and he's like, Danny goes, he says, that creative team, he goes, and they frustrate me so bad. He goes, they don't have a clue what to do with you. He goes, to me, you're the best gimmick, just be it you. Just go down there, carry the belts, don't care about the belts, toss them off the side, and just dismantle people. This was before there was a Bill Goldberg in WCW. And ironically, it wasn't until maybe half a dozen or so years back I met Bill for the very first time. We had lunch along with a few other people. And as we get to know each other, halfway through lunch, he reaches over, taps me on the shoulder, and goes, thanks. I go, well, for what? He goes, dude, I was you. I go, what? He says, I watched you in the Ultimate Fight Champs. He says, I mimicked you. I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool for him to say that to me. So, I kept thinking I was a Bill Goldberg and who's next and all that before there ever was.
Probably the biggest star to come out of WCW that was made by WCW was Goldberg, without question. Yeah. Can you talk about the role you played in creating him?
I beat him the first night out when he had a red jacket, Falcons thing, Falcons, red tights, red boots. I beat him.
Was that on Nitro?
Yeah, with Steve McMichaels. And I said, whoa, what a mistake you just did. I pulled Paulo off the side. Paul ran the power plant. I said, I'll pull this kid off the TV for 8-10 weeks. This is your project. I'll drop him because the power plant was in our building at the time. And this is when Tyson retired And you remember when Tyson used to go to the ring with the short boots? Just a towel. I recreated a badass in my head that was the Jewish Mike Tyson. And he got over like gangbusters. I mean, the night that he beat Hogan, it was free TV. We did over $1 million gate in Atlanta, 43,000 people there. Amazing. Short time he was in the business. And then he came back after 12 years and had a run with Brock.
Yeah. Which was very successful, to say the least. And one thing I noticed is that in his match with Kevin Owens, there was no offense in Kevin Owens, and I'm wondering if that has something to do too with Goldberg not feeling it would be believable for a fat guy in a t-shirt to do anything to him. I wonder if that had any role in it.
You brought up a very good point. That could be in Bill's head too.
After my 4 years at SMU, I went to the Atlanta Falcons. I got hurt during my first season, had 2 knee surgeries. But me and Bill actually got along because, again, that jock background, we talked football, we talked the Falcons, Neither one of us Falcon fans. They cut both of us. But, I got along with Bill. I still, they did a show recently with Bill. He's doing appearances down in the States at Indian reservations and stuff.
Do you think they made a mistake ending the streak there?
Yeah, I sure do. That was the whole thing, was the streak with Goldberg, as was the streak with Taker at WrestleMania. I think you kill the streak, it takes away all the mystique. But that's why I'm not in the office.
Was that Kevin Nash's booking?
That's the thing. I wasn't ever an office guy. I would show up, I did my job, and leave. Other guys would be in the office. What's happening? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? I'd come in, do my job, and hit the road.
One guy that Sullivan actually created as a booker was Goldberg. And I've heard Goldberg put you over many, many, many times at interviews that he really liked working with you.
Especially Haku. Him and Haku are really close. I love Bill. We help the guy to, because when he's too good for the territory, everybody. So we did everything to help him, and he came in the right time as a football player, and he was in the right time, and he was a nice guy. We don't push him, and he put the business to his head, and big head, and you guys are down there. No, he was not like that. He respect people before him, and we were willing to help him. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I heard him say that he let you suplex him off the top rope, and he actually caught a lot of heat for that. Did you get any heat from that too?
Yeah. Oh, they chew my ass. I said, we try. Oh, Kevin was screaming at me. I mean, why you do that move? You can do that move. Anybody but not Bill, except me, Goldberg. You don't do that to Goldberg. This is like Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry. I just want live TV too. I just want to, give him something to make him more tougher. Tougher. At the end, of course he's going to do the spear, and so make him more tougher. Come out, but that's a big move, So, they chew me pretty good, and that was the end. No more suplex for Bill Goldberg.
And I don't know if you know this or not, but yesterday he won the WWE Championship. So what do you think about now? 25 years after that match, he's still champion. Did Goldberg have an ego at all back then? And also, are you surprised that he's still going strong these days back on WWE pay-per-views?
Yeah, no, because I don't know how. I'm not surprised because I don't know how he does business. But one thing how Goldberg happened is when they gave him when Eric Bischoff chose to push him that much and get, 90 wins or something in a row or whatever it was, it just totally effed up his head. He was like a guy that had to pay no dues at all. No wrestling camp, no sleeping in your back car. But he was a humble, nice guy the night, I think I was there the first night he was there. ever. And he was a nice guy. But to push him like that, the way they did, it totally effed up his head. And I remember seeing him talking about his son. He's like, I just tell my son, you got to give it 100% all the time. And I'm like, dude, it's a work. Is this guy for real? What have we created here? And I know, I mean, we us guys still talk about this. This ain't something my talk just came from my living room. We still talk like this to each other, guys, and like it totally effed up his head. You had to do a job for a guy. What were you going to do? Not take $150,000 a year and say no? I'm not going to do a job. But the main thing, one of the things, Hannibal, that hurt me, that really bothered me, I was telling Brad Rangens this just last night from my hotel room, was, and I don't follow everything that much, but when Brock lost to Goldberg, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Brock is an absolute animal, national champ at the U of M, ultimate fighter, and you're doing a horse shit, a shitty job, like that. It just hurt because I guess what I'm saying is I'm a Brock fan, I love NCAA champions. I love amateur wrestlers because I guess I follow it more than the average pro wrestling fan or the average pro wrestler. But yeah, I got strong opinions on that stuff, but I just can't help it.
Bill was a good friend of mine. We got to be, he was a good friend as soon as he came in. He asked a lot of questions and, I kind of give him some pointers there when he first came in, how to handle this and that. And we ended up becoming good friends. We did probably 10 different years of Sturgis, riding our bikes out there and having a blast. He lived in Dawsonville, which is up in the woods there in North Georgia. My boys loved him then. My boys still call him and talk to him. And got to be good friends with some of the guys on the Georgia football team. But yeah, Bill's a good buddy of mine.
What do you think of his return now?
I wish him the best of luck. My thing is I just hope nothing, hope he stays injury free, and I wish him the best of luck. I hope what goes off good. I mean, his opponent's a big old dude, so let's hope everything goes smooth,
Yeah.
And, he's got a family now, none of us are getting any younger.
Yeah.
Is there any reason you didn't pursue the pro wrestling? Because a lot of fighters did.
You know what? I sitting back now, I'm sorry that I didn't, because my career would have lasted much longer. And I was too busy with fighting at the time. But I'm hoping, talking to Goldberg last month or when he was here 3 weeks ago, I think that I'm going to end up going that way towards professional wrestling, because, whatever injuries you have, it's okay because you work around it.
And how do you know Goldberg?
Goldberg and I became good friends, and he was the commentator for Pride. And then from there, me, Goldberg, Don Fry, there was a bunch of people that went on a trip in California for kids. Was have the kids come with us, and we take them out, and we was mentor all these underprivileged kids, and the kids that I'm sure some of them are dead today. So we were just giving make a wish with an athlete. That's something out in California. So he used to fly us out there, and Goldberg came, and we became really good friends out in California. and then from there we just kept it up. We just, and we both have, he just came from football background. I came from MMA background. We both suffer from the same things in our heads. So it was easiest for us to talk to each other and get to know each other.
And there was always rumors that Goldberg had a bit of an MMA background, but never actually fought. How do you think he would have done if he had fought MMA?
You know what? He didn't fight MMA back then, but he couldn't have. But his persona on wrestling stage was the MMA background. He fought with the Chuck Norris wrist wrap, and he's training now. He's been doing jiu-jitsu now. For about 3 years, he's been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, so now he knows how to fight. Back then, he was. I don't think he was. He was just he would have been just a big brawler.
And what did you think of his match against Brock Lesnar?
I loved it. I was. He got me. I was like 3 seats from the ring. I loved it. He invited me down and gave me a few tickets. I loved it.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.